Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the scummiest of them all?
Whether you like them or don't like them, there's nothing you could do about them.
Donations. 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 Donations.
That's not proof. It's still debatable, but it's a good piece of evidence.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Old Man, aka O the Dread, and welcome back to the channel. It's no mystery by now who we're going to be covering in today's episode. This goofy goes by many names, but you may know him best as the Prince of Pan-Africanism, aka the Prince of Panhandling. The man that's been promising to build a school for over 10 years and has still yet to deliver. Which, by the way, stay tuned until the end for his most recent progress report. He's another grifter and charlatan that's been taking money from his own people for the better part of a decade and providing nothing but excuses, delays, and enough memes to last you a lifetime. I can't exactly call this a downfall since this clown has never really been respected enough to be called great. However, his rise to notoriety and history of buffoonery has been extensively documented, which we'll explore here in this video. Umar Rashad Ibn Abdullah Ifatunde Johnson, born Jermaine Shoemake on August 24, 1974 in North Philadelphia, a doctor of clinical psychology and certified school psychologist, said to have graduated with a BA from Millersville University of Pennsylvania. His claim that he graduated from Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine in 2012 with a doctorate in clinical psychology has gone through much scrutiny over the years after an investigation by The Root found conflicting evidence pointing out that his dissertation is not available online like 99% of PCOM doctorates.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
His certificate was later made public in the investigation by the same reporting source. Umar was ordered to attend a hearing before the Pennsylvania State Board of Psychology in 2018 for engaging in the practice of psychology without a license. The board did not strip him of a license because essentially he did not have one, but we'll get back to that in a bit. Dr. Umar is a prominent self-proclaimed motivational speaker, author, and poemist with a massive social media presence boasting over 1 million followers. This huge following of course comes with a hefty price of $5,000 to $10,000 if you want King Kong consciousness to bring his radical and misogynistic rhetoric to you live and direct. Umar has also claimed to be a direct descendant of American abolitionist Frederick Douglass, a claim that the Douglass family has refuted as cap, which brings me to his biggest controversy and is the foundation for his everlasting grift. Using his credentials as a school psychologist and forged lineage for clout, Umar would begin promoting his vision to build the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership for Pan-African Excellence, FDMG. If you can't already tell, Marvin Lucius King over here loves using a lot of words for no reason. The school was pitched as a state-of-the-art school based on Pan-African nationalism for black children. Basically, this nigga thinks he's Dumbledore trying to open a Hotep Hogwarts, which on the surface seems like a notable cause, but as the story unravels, you'll start to see who Dr. Umar truly is. He began collecting donations as far back as 2009 and in 2015 raised over $400,000 on GoFundMe.
Dropped it to $2 million, which was the basic asking price to acquire the school. But that doesn't give you any extra capital to refurbish the school and get it up to code, because you're changing it from a college to a grade school. And the code is totally different. And because it is a historical school, you got to put elevators in there, fire, water, sprinklers. There's a lot we would have had to do. The $2 million wouldn't have gave us enough money for that. But we haven't raised $2 million.
And for my viewers out there, sorry to cut you off, and your school was going to be kind of like a border school?
Residential academy.
Yeah, for the
Yes,
young
sir.
black.
Yes, sir. So now what we're doing with the money we've raised, which is approximately $700,000.
He claims to have collected upwards of $700,000 by late 2017, though some sources suspect it was likely several $million instead. On February 9th, 2019, Umar announced that he acquired 2 buildings in Wilmington, Delaware for $400,000 and would be finally making due on his promise. And you would think, considering the $400,000 he raised in 2015 and the fact that he supposedly grew that amount to $700,000 by 2017, coupled with his exorbitant speaking fees, that he would have absolutely no problem doing exactly that. But we wouldn't be here if that was the case now, would we? Fast forward to the time of me making this video in late 2025 and the school is still not open, and up until a recent update has been nowhere near it. I'll be giving you those details shortly since, unlike Dr. Dumbledore, I keep my promises. He blames delays on a multitude of factors, including but not limited to PayPal freezing his personal and business accounts, forcing him to ring that donation bell louder than ever, GoFundMe removing his account, likely due to a lack of nonprofit status and, believe it or not, lack of enough funds. The buildings purchased were originally abandoned, and the property was previously a chemical business munitions manufacturer called Hercules Incorporated, classified by the EPA as a brownfield catalyst site due to contamination in the soil, and was previously proposed by the EPA to demolish the properties, being that the buildings were vacant for over a decade. Recent interior tours show the gym is filthy and filled with hoarded personal belongings, trash, boxes, and mattresses, leading some to speculate that he's been using the building to live in during his so-called financial struggles. Either way, this conflicts with his claims that the buildings were part of a $13 million renovation project less than 10 years ago and were in excellent shape. Turns out, they're in even worse shape now than when he got them. He's managed to amass a debt of $72,000, including $17,000 in water and sewer bills and $15,000 in civil penalties, which had the Prince of Panhandling back on the internet shaking his empty cash cup at his followers. What he wouldn't mention is a $68,000 out-of-court settlement he paid a former collaborator, Marianne Loren. I'll link a video about that in the description. Now, you would think a man with such a noble intent would have philanthropists lining up to donate their money and good Samaritans to offer their time and manpower to help the doc bring his vision to life, and you would be right. However, he has consistently turned down offers for free services from licensed professionals, including plumbers, HVAC techs, and even people offering land, preferring instead to raise money from hardworking black folks, because he also refuses to take money from white people rather than accept free labor that would only require him to pay for materials and permits. That brings me to the most recent update that I've been promising y'all.
Hey, yo, Kato. And this is the Dancer Project, and we have Dr. Umar. Now, before we get into any type of conversation, I want to know where you're at, because you're constantly working, and when I mean working, you're doing a lot more than most.
Yes, sir.
Right? Like,
yes,
it's
sir.
not just the conversations that you're having on podcasts, it's the works that you're doing in the communities,
Right.
the conversations that you're having with the youth and with people in general. Where are you at mentally right now? How do you feel?
I guess for me, the one thing that I just want to finalize is the renovations on the FDMG Academy. You know, we've been almost done for so long, and now we're at the floors. But I'm still scared to say we done, because every time I say we done, something else comes up. Say we done. I'm tired of saying it myself.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So when we done, that's when I'll do it, man. But we real close. When I fly back home tomorrow, I got to get to the school. They laying the floors now, and I'm gonna stay positive, but I'm not looking forward to the inspection, because you know they can nitpick you to death on that.
Absolutely.
You know, so when people say when you're going to actually be done, that's not in our hands. We have to see what the city says. You know, but I'm hoping after all we've been through, they just say go ahead. If it's all in order, just passing. You know, but that hasn't been the experience. Like everything we've been through with the city has been a fight. You know, even to get a permit for the festival, they ain't want to give us that. You know, so it's really been a tug of war with them. I'm just hoping that we don't have to have a protest. I'm hoping we don't have to take them to court for discrimination. I mean, the bureaucracy is mostly black. The mayor's white, but the bureaucracy is black. But discrimination is discrimination, even if you're the same color. You know, so I'm gonna just put it in the Lord's hands and see. But we knock it on the finish line. So if all goes well, we should be able to apply for the inspection before the end of the year.
So as you can see, it's just more excuses, and based on what we just heard, it looks like there's no limit to how far Umar will go to string along his followers to keep sending money, because you know, ain't no nation like a donation. You see, in the grand circus of social commentary, very few have perfected the tightrope walk between prophet and parasite, quite like our boy Ifa Tunde. For over a decade, this self-proclaimed Prince of Pan-Africanism captivated an audience with a hypnotic blend of grievance and grandeur, promising a haven for black boys while only providing a purgatory of perpetual fundraising. He is the quintessential grifting archetype, a master architect of a dream deferred, whose main construction project was never a school, but really a castle of excuses built on a foundation of cap. The Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, his messianic Hotep Hogwarts, remains the most potent symbol of his career, a hollow monument to broken promises. After amassing what some speculate to be millions of dollars in donations, the school stands not as a beacon of education, but as a rusty emblem of deceit. His latest response to the delay follows a predictable and played out script. It ain't my fault. The enemy is forever external, a conspiracy of haters, phantom hackers, and nebulous white supremacist forces allegedly freezing his bank accounts as soon as the bills are due. His victim narrative is his proverbial shield, used to deflect any demand for accountability, framing all legitimate questions as racial betrayal. This grift is riddled with a specifically venomous brand of rhetoric that poisons the very community it claims to serve. His meticulously crafted persona, a doctor and blood relative of Frederick Douglass, is the shaky ground he chooses to launch his attacks from. His discourse is a toxic blend of misogyny, homophobia, racial epithets, and divisive racial purity tests. He vomits conspiracy theories about public figures and advances the dangerous idea that progress for one marginalized group comes at the expense of his own. That's not Pan-Africanism. It's a cheap knockoff, a goofy-ass performance that furthers the agenda of patriarchy and division oppression under the guise of liberation. Ultimately, Dr. Jermaine represents the tragic archetype of the charlatan who preys on the legit pain and aspirations of his people. He's mastered the art of converting righteous anger into personal income, promising empowerment while planting seeds of division. The tragedy isn't just the squandered cash or the school that never was. The deeper harm lies in the manipulation of hope and the erosion of trust. He stands as a cautionary tale, a King Kong of rhetoric whose consciousness was never built on principle, but on panhandling, leaving behind a legacy not of liberation, but of limitless excuses and a lifetime supply of memes. So if you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you more than you know. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think Dr. Umar is ever going to open this school? I'm trying to get to at least one video a week, so stay tuned for my next drop. Same bat time, same bat channel. And if there's anyone else you'd like to see me cover, drop their name in the comments. And when it comes to constructive criticism, I'm always all ears. Just don't be a jerk. I'd really love to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, but only you guys can help me do that. So please like, comment, subscribe. But more important than that, be the person you'd like to meet. Peace.
Oh man, I'm about to pop out. And you know I brought the drop out.